Okay, we are going to name our second worksheet commission projection. Perfect. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our measure values, which we've used in other dashboards, right? Measure values has all of the observations for each of our measures. And when we drag this onto, we're actually going to put it in columns. When we drag it in the columns, we can see the measure values marks card. It has all of the measures for us. We're not going to use all of them, but we're going to filter them a little bit later. So next, we're going to add our salesperson into rows, which means when we have our salesperson, we're going to use that rank over 3 field right next to it. And we're going to make this discrete. That way we can move it over to the left. And then we'll right click and uncheck the show header. That way it doesn't show up on the dashboard. Okay, so we have everything set up so far, but now what we can do is filter out some of the measure values that we don't want. So I'm actually going to get rid of, I can just left click and drag. Let's see. I just want the commission and the base variable. And then the base variable is actually going to be a minimum. So if I bring down the drop-down menu and go to measure, you can find minimum. And then we have our base variable and commission. Commission should be sum, base variable is minimum. And then we can't forget to do our sort on our salesperson. So if I bring down that drop-down menu, this is going to be a field sort, and it's going to be by sort by field, and it'll have a custom aggregation. Just for a little bit of a sanity check, I want to make sure, see, so we missed the sort on our salesperson in the first worksheet. So let's go back and let's go sort again, and we'll go field sort. And this is going to be sort by field, right? So the reason why this sort is so critical is because the sort by field calculated field is actually what activates the sort by parameter. So if we don't have the sort in our salesperson field, that parameter won't actually adjust any of our dashboards. So this is a key, small detail that if you miss, you could potentially get confused later down the line once you're, trying to sort by and it's not, doing exactly what you want. So yeah, make sure you have the field sort on the salesperson field in both worksheets. And then once you do, we'll move on. So next thing we want to do is add our measure names into color, because what this will do is break down exactly, what part of this line represents each of these measures. So the first one is always our minimum base variable. Obviously, this is what they get paid as their base salary. And then the blue bar is representing the commission compensation that they've made. So we're actually going to go into color and make our minimum base gray, just for design purposes. So it should be gray, and then we have blue. Right, gray. We're making it gray most likely just because it's the same for everyone, so it's not as important. The blue is really what we want to have pop, because this is what's changing between each salesperson. Okay, so next thing we want to do is start adding some a reference line as well, because we added a reference line to the other worksheet. We're going to add an OTE reference line on this worksheet. So I want to drag OTE into detail. That way we can use it in our reference line. And so this is going to be, instead of sum, we're going to change the measure to max. Perfect. And then we're going to go to analytics and go to reference line. That way we have it's in table. We have our line selected, which is great. And it's going to be the entire table. So this is for our value, it's going to be max OTE. That's going to be the maximum. We want a custom label so that the label of our reference line says OTE, and then it displays that value. So we're going to type OTE and then use this drop down to insert the value that it comes out with. And then we're just going to uncheck the box here down at the bottom, and then we're going to click OK and accept all other defaults. Okay, perfect. So now you should have this gray bar that comes down, and at the bottom it has that label. So it says OTE and 142,000. And OTE is actually a dollar amount. So if we right click on OTE in the data pane, we are going to go number format, and this is a currency. We'll leave 2 decimal places. We'll click OK. So now it should show up right here. Perfect. So we have our commission projection worksheet done, which means we just have 2 more worksheets left to complete before we start making the dashboard.